This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, sort of. A little rainy out there. 6 o'clock, June 7th. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Certainly going to want to bring the umbrella if you are heading out the door this morning.
Should be handy by now after the past few days. Let's get details of the latest rain on the forecast from John Scalzi.
Yeah, it sure looks like again today we have a good chance of seeing some rain showers around. Some of them again could be heavy, particularly in the afternoon with a little bit of daytime heating. Probably the morning commute will be okay. I don't think there's going to be a lot of rain around during the morning commute, but certainly by drive time home this evening and by the afternoon even, a good chance of seeing some strong storms around. We have cloud cover that'll be around the area, but we're just sort of on the cusp of a little bit of clearing that's located just to the north of us around the Big Bend region. You know, we might get a little of that dry air intrusion coming in or rotating around that area of low pressure to our north. That could provide us with some periods of sunshine, but that sunshine will only help to boost our rain chances and the possibility of a few thunderstorms by afternoon. Complete forecast coming up in just a few.
All right, we'll see you soon. There's a scene right now in Manatee County. You'll see a little bit of a buildup as 301 wraps up into downtown Bradenton. A few trouble spots already this morning on that wet pavement in Sarasota County. The first one we see is on Fruitville. As you pass by the Target there, head toward the interstate. Also 41 southbound toward Bee Ridge. Also Clark has some spots westbound causing problems. South County not too bad at 6:02 on your Wednesday morning.
Topping our news this half hour, charges have been filed this week against a 25-year-old woman accused of leaking classified information to the media.
She could face up to 10 years behind bars. Reed Binion spoke to her family.
I don't care what they accused her of doing.
Gary Davis speaking out in defense of his stepdaughter, accused NSA document leaker Reality Winner.
She's a patriot, and to see her maligned and slandered in the media is very disheartening.
Winner now facing charges after authorities say she removed classified material from a government building and mailed it to online news outlet The Intercept. The information was the basis for The Intercept's Monday article on an NSA report detailing a 2016 Russian cyber attack on a U.S. voting software supplier. There's no indication that the hack affected any votes.
If she did what she's being accused of, I know that she's ready to pay the price.
Winner's mother, Billy Winner, expressing concern that her daughter will face unduly harsh punishment because of the current political climate regarding leaks.
My biggest fear in all of this is that she's not going to get a fair trial. She's not going to be treated fairly. She's going to be made an example of.
Prosecutors say Winner admitted to the leak, but her lawyer cast doubt on the government's side of the story, saying he hasn't seen any evidence to indicate Winner is guilty.
If the document that's currently being circulated, if that's the actual document, the government's going to have to prove how that injured the United States and how it benefited Russia.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
There's new suspicion that Russian hackers were also involved in making the U.S. look bad to allies in the Persian Gulf. Investigators believe Russian hackers breached Qatar's state news agency and planted a false news report. A total of 8 nations have so far moved to indefinitely sever ties with Qatar. You might know Qatar hosts one of the largest U.S. military bases in that region. It's believed the Russian goal was to cause a rift between the U.S. and its allies. In Paris, a follow-up now on a man who attacked police with a hammer outside the Notre Dame Cathedral yesterday. Witnesses say the attacker said it's for Syria. As he went after officers patrolling in front of the landmark, police shot and injured the man. France is still in a state of emergency after the Paris attacks in 2015, in which 130 people were killed.
Back in Washington, a senior advisor to the Trump administration says Attorney General Jeff Sessions offered to resign. Sources say the two men have had a series of heated exchanges since Sessions recused himself from the investigation into Russian ties back in March. According to a senior administration official, at one point Sessions apparently said he would quit if Trump wanted him out. Press Secretary Sean Spicer refused to say Tuesday if Trump still has confidence in Sessions. Meanwhile, a DOJ spokeswoman said Sessions is not stepping down. And an update this morning on Congress's plan to repeal and replace Obamacare. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell told President Trump that the Senate may vote on new health care legislation by July 4th. McConnell says the Congressional Budget Office will issue a new report on the Senate's version of the bill coming soon.
6:05 right now. In Oregon, the Portland man accused of stabbing 3 men on a train, killing 2 of them, will be back in court this morning. This is Jeremy Christian. He's been indicted on 15 counts now. Police say 2 weeks ago, Christian harassed 2 teenage girls on a mass transit train. One was wearing a Muslim headdress. He is accused of then attacking 3 men who tried to defend the girls, killing 2 of them, seriously injuring the 3rd. At his arraignment last week, Christian said, quote, "Death to the enemies of America."
The woman accusing comedian Bill Cosby of drugging and sexually assaulting her is set to return to the stand for more testimony today. Andrea Constant says she saw the comedian as a mentor, but she says one night back in 2004, he offered her blue pills to ease her stress, but they made her feel dizzy. She says that's when Cosby began groping her and forced her to touch him. The defense will have a chance to cross-examine her today. They have already raised questions about why she continued to reach out to Cosby even after the alleged incidents. Cosby is denying all accusations but say he will not testify.
Back in Florida, a special session begins today in Tallahassee, and the Senate president says don't be surprised to see attempts to override some of the governor's budget vetoes. Senator Joe Negron says the Senate will also consider reducing cuts to hospitals and universities. It's not clear if the Florida House will go along with a veto override. It does take a 2/3 vote of both chambers to override a veto. The 2-day session is set to conclude on Friday.
Here on the Suncoast, the University of South Florida Sarasota Manatee is dealing with some of those impacts of Governor Rick Scott's vetoes from the proposed state budget. The vetoes included more than $3 million that would have gone to several programs at the local campus. They include $2.5 million for STEM degree programs like biology, which is the fastest growing major on campus. $500,000 would have benefited the university partnership program with Mote Marine Laboratory. Another $250,000 was set to go to the university's arts integrated teaching programs.
Well, we're going to minimize the impact on our students, but it's clearly a step back in terms of our ability to support the STEM programs that the local businesses said we so desperately need for this area.
The cuts will lead to about a 14% loss of funding that the campus previously received from the state. The university's interim chancellor says they will work with community partners and local lawmakers moving forward.
And a bill that would make a wholesale change to Florida's controversial Stand Your Ground law is now on the governor's desk. The issue stems from a Florida Supreme Court ruling in 2015 that said defendants have the burden of proof. The bill that's now in front of the governor would switch the burden to prosecutors to prove a shooting was justified or not. Here's reaction to that from the National Rifle Association.
The most important thing about this piece of legislation is that it restores the presumption of innocence until proven guilty in self-defense cases.
Critics argue that the change could lead to cases ending before all the facts are revealed. Certainly a controversial issue here in the state of Florida. 6:08 now on a soggy Wednesday morning.
Man, is it ever. Well, you know what? I think we'll get through most of the commute this morning without the big heavy rains that we had yesterday afternoon. Right. But I think this afternoon we might revisit those rain showers once again.
Day 3 of this rainfall coming down.
Yeah, really, it's very true. You know, I think we'll probably see some reduction in the drought when the drought monitor comes out Thursday. Right. So let's hope so.
Well, that's good news.
We'll talk about it in a sec.
Yeah, I would think that would happen, yeah. Still ahead, seismic air guns may soon be used to find oil and gas.
But how does this new technology impact ocean ecosystems? We'll tell you when we come back.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Finish Upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC 7. We're here for you.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Finish Upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC 7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Looking at air temperature coming in warm at 80 degrees already this morning. And a dew point value high at 74, making it feel really kind of sticky out there. And again, today, with those kind of dew point values and those temperatures already starting off the day, we have a really good chance of seeing more showers and thunderstorms around this afternoon. And even this morning, there'll be a few scattered showers. The further north you go, the further south you go, the better your rain chances are during the morning hours. Cloud cover around will kind of keep our temperatures down just a little bit. I think the 80-degree temperature that we currently have will probably add another 5 degrees onto that, and that's about as warm as we're going to get today. A lot of rainfall activity down to the south of us. We have lines of showers kind of streaming up on a southwesterly wind flow that's developing just above the surface. And again, the chance of seeing some fairly heavy rainfall again today is pretty good. I think a lot of the morning commute for the next hour or two will probably get by without too much of a hitch, but through the mid-morning hours into the afternoon, we have again a good chance of seeing some rain showers around as we see lines developing out in the Gulf and moving onshore. Little areas of low pressure will be rippling along this stalled frontal boundary today. Some heavier rainfall located just to the north at the Florida-Georgia border this morning and into the afternoon. These little areas of low pressure enhance our rainfall chance by kind of slinging back moisture and providing a little additional lift in the atmosphere. Now, those areas of lows will move to the Atlantic coast, and before the next one arrives, we may get a little bit of drier air trying to filter in this way as we finish up the work week. So I think Friday will probably be the nicest day of the week, the least amount of rainfall as you head north. In fact, the Atlantic seaboard, I think, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be pretty nice along the Atlantic seaboard, all the way up to the northeast, in fact, down East Maine. So if you were thinking about traveling, I would say that if you're heading north and a lot of snowbirds returning home, you know, if you could wait, if you're driving and you could wait till Friday, that's probably not a bad idea. Periods of rain again today, breezy southwest winds, small craft advisory, and high rip current dangers all in effect today. The RPM computer model shows those showers around today, shows them around tomorrow, but lessening in intensity and frequency. And then as we head into Friday, I think we're looking at a rain chance that is about a third of what it is today. We still have a chance this afternoon at seeing some fairly good rainfall accumulations, perhaps 2 to 4 inch rainfalls over the next 24 hours. Certainly not out of the question. The good news is the fire danger index, the chance of fires igniting and spreading, low in our area, low in every county of the state. Love to see that. 7-day forecast calls for that chance of reduced rainfall Friday, followed by more afternoon showers over the weekend. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Taking a look at Suncoast traffic on your Wednesday morning, looks like an increase in traffic on State Road 70 heading in both directions. Also, there is an accident east of 75 up towards New Paris Way and French Creek Court. As we head down I-75 into Sarasota County, not a whole lot going on. Clark Road seeing some congestion as you head on to I-75. 41 South looking good as you head into South County. No accidents other than up in Manatee County across the Suncoast. From the coast of Delaware all the way to Florida, the Trump administration is looking to use seismic air guns to look for oil and gas underneath the floor of the Atlantic Ocean.
But as our Jess Dodrick tells us, environmentalists are concerned that these guns will cause the loudest man-made sounds in the ocean.
President Donald Trump is looking to unleash the nation's energy reserves that he says can be found off the East Coast under the Atlantic Ocean.
Our country is blessed with incredible natural resources, including abundant offshore oil and natural gas reserves. But the federal government has kept 94% of these offshore areas closed for exploration and production.
Trump promises that the exploration will clear the way for thousands of high-paying American jobs. Meanwhile, America would be less dependent on other countries for foreign oil.
The more reserves that we find for ourselves, we can control, where we don't have to rely on such volatile and dangerous places as the Middle East and sometimes South America, the better for us, the better for American citizens.
But here in Florida, where the tourism and fishing industries are strong, there's a lot of concern. Marine life being the most vulnerable to seismic testing. Its powerful sound waves are so strong that some say they could kill an animal if it gets too close.
Picture you're living in a neighborhood and there's a very, very powerful boom box that's going off every 10 seconds all day long, all night long. If you get too close to it, it's possible you can get killed. If you're in the really close vicinity, you can't communicate with your family. It's just very, very disruptive. But for the rest of the neighborhood, you can hear it from miles away.
Risks from seismic testing aside, some say the greater risk comes if oil or natural gas is found under the Atlantic Ocean. That means drilling would begin.
All you have to do is look back at the BP oil spill and the potential for adverse impacts on the environment. And since our economy is completely driven based on a tourism-driven economy, and we have the #1 beach in the world here with Siesta Key, I think we have to do everything we can to protect it.
As it stands, the National Marine Fisheries Service is asking for Marine Mammal Protection Act permits, allowing 5 companies to conduct the seismic surveys with the air guns. Jess Dodrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
If this testing begins with the guns, it could still take years to locate any oil.
That's true, and I covered this story a lot when I lived in North Carolina, and if your area flourishes off tourism or fishing industry, it can really affect those areas and could make a big impact on those living in that region.
I would think it would be miles and miles off the coast of it.
Yeah, so we'll see.
6:19 right now, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. A teenage girl could face jail time for encouraging her boyfriend to take his own life.
We'll tell you more about the text messages she sent him after this.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by one on any or all numbers and still win.
Keep up with your investments and market trends by watching the ABC7 Stock Report. Get a recap of all the day's stock market activity. Be sure to watch your Suncoast News at 6 for the ABC7 Stock Report, sponsored by Sunset Cadillac.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com, AndServices.com.
There's a shot of the 10th Street boat ramp, which hasn't seen a lot of activity the past few days.
Yeah, it's been so rainy out there and not a lot of people going out for a boat ride, that's for sure.
It seemed like forever John was saying hot and sunny, and now he's saying rain and more rain, so all the drought issues are at bay, at least for now anyway. Yeah. Welcome back, 6:22 on your Wednesday morning.
A teenage girl is facing manslaughter charges for allegedly encouraging her boyfriend to commit suicide through a series of text messages.
An unusual story. Adrienne Bankert has the story for us.
In this morning's GMA First Look, 20-year-old Michelle Carter accused of pushing the young man she says she loved to his death. Prosecutors say Carter, at the time a high school student, pressured 18-year-old Conrad Roy III to commit suicide in 2014. At the heart of the case, tens of thousands of texts between the two, Carter repeatedly telling him, "It's time and you need to just do it." Cell phone records showing Carter telling him to get back inside the truck when he has second thoughts. Carter's attorney blaming her behavior on the medication she was taking.
It's a suicide. Even if somebody supports another individual in a suicide, it doesn't create a homicide.
And coming up at 7 a.m., Nancy Grace weighs in on the case live. With your GMA First Look, I'm Adrienne Bankert, ABC News, Taunton, Massachusetts.
Right now at Rent-A-Center, you can get started for just $10. $10 starts any agreement store-wide. But you better hurry. This offer ends soon. Only at Rent-A-Center. Big brands, small payments, all without credit.
For my constipation, my doctor recommended I switch laxatives. Stimulant laxatives make your body go by forcefully stimulating the nerves in your colon. Miralax is different. It works with the water in your body to hydrate and soften, unblocking your system naturally. Miralax.
Introducing new Caesar Dry. Tastes like happy.
Hey, allergy muddlers, are you one sneeze away from being voted out of the carpool? Try Zyrtec. It starts working hard at hour 1 and works twice as hard when you take it again the next day. Stick with Zyrtec and muddle no more.
Hello, everybody. I'm Chef Bob Vitello, and this is Chef Alan Bristow.
How you doing?
What are you cooking for us today, Alan?
Well, today we're going to do a spinach artichoke panko-crusted cube steak, Bob, that we're going to saute. It's a fantastic little dish. Here's the cube steak right here. It's a really nice steak, and what they do is they use something called a Jakarta machine, where they just put a lot of little cuts in there.
What kind of machine?
A Jakarta machine.
Pretty cool.
So it makes a tender piece of meat out of a tough piece of meat. It's fantastic. So what we've got is a little spinach artichoke dip. You can find this in the deli section at Publix. This is a great dip, many uses for it. So we're just going to put a little bit of this on this side, and then we're going to take a little bit of panko breadcrumbs, which is a Japanese-style breadcrumb. It's a little coarser grind. We're going to do both sides of this just like this. I'm going to put it on this side here.
Who would have thought of using spinach artichoke dip in meat?
I would never have thought that, and I got to tell you, this is a great little dish. We were fortunate enough to try it beforehand, and it is really nice.
We eat everything beforehand.
Everything. And now we're going to put a little more on here, just like this, a little more breadcrumbs. And what you want to do is make sure that you put enough breadcrumbs in there and that you push them in really firm. Okay? Then we got a little saute pan there, and we've got one already cooking right here. We need to saute it in a little bit of olive oil till it's nice and golden brown on both sides. Once that's accomplished, you're going to make a little salad to go with it. And the salad we're using today is a Publix Premium True Blue salad with a blue cheese vinaigrette. And we're going to add to that just a little bit of rice and quinoa, and it's really nice. Makes a fantastic accompaniment for this particular dish that we're doing. We also put in a little bit of fresh plum tomatoes as well.
Starting tomorrow, be sure to stop by your Publix Apron Simple Meals kiosk, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients after sampling this delicious dish. This looks amazing, man.
Thanks, Bob. It's a great dish. Thank you.
You're welcome.
These are our heroes. They have sacrificed so much to serve our country. And now Granny Nannies is truly honored to serve them. We're here, and we're ready to help. Call us today.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill, I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get 1 more free. Call today.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential. There's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline. If you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death, you must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery?
Sure.
We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
At Granny Nannies, we provide your loved ones with the care they deserve, compassionate and experienced help right where you need it most, at home. Visit us at grannynannies.com.
A helping hand and a gentle heart.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, as hurricane season gets underway, county officials are preparing the emergency system they're urging all residents to sign up for.
Plus, Sarasota County approves a new place from which to rent kayaks on the beach. We'll tell you where.
And the numbers are in for one of the largest fundraisers here on the Suncoast, the record-breaking amount of money raised for pediatric cancer research. Your Suncoast News starts right now.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Well, you know it's a bad sign when our director says we're not going to show you the outside tower cam. It's too bleak out there right now.
It's so gross out there.
It's brighter inside here, so
Yes.
we'll show you the indoors instead. Welcome back at 6:31 right now. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Day 3 of this ongoing rain issue that we have got going on. Let's check in with meteorologist John Scalzi over in the Weather Center. Hey, John.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, a little bit of cloud cover around today, no doubt about that. The good news is I think most of the drive time this morning will probably get through without any kind of heavy driving rains. There could be some scattered showers around, but the heavier the rains will probably hold off until mid-morning, early afternoon, and then into the rest of the evening as well. We have, we're looking at radar right now, a few scattered showers around, but cloud cover still, plenty of it out there, and we have another little bit of energy just off the coast. So our rain chance again, high today, coming in at about 80%. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, deja vu. Thank you, John. There's the roads right now in Manatee County. Not too busy, but there is an accident at New Paris Way at French Creek Court. Sounds very exotic, but there's a problem there right now. Otherwise, all clear in Manatee County. Farther south, we see a little problem there on the interstate. Let's see what that reveals to us. Northbound lanes after exit 221. So watch that if you can. And then farther south, we'll check the roads. Nothing too much to report at 6:32 on your Wednesday morning.
Topping our news this morning, the Suncoast continues to have issues with alligators considered to be a nuisance to homeowners.
As our Rick Adams tells us, this area is among the highest in the state with alligators.
Well, signs like this are to be taken very seriously because of the enormous amount of alligators here in the state of Florida. Folks may be spotting a lot more active gators nowadays because of the drought and because of mating season. The numbers are almost hard to fathom. In 2016, Florida's statewide nuisance alligator program received almost 13,000 complaints of alligators that were potentially causing problems. That resulted in the removal of more than 8,000 gators. The Venetian Golf and River Club in Nokomis is one of the developments that has had nuisance alligators removed.
The nuisance alligator is someone who's no longer fearful of humans. That's why you don't want to feed them.
Dr. Catherine Clements with the University of Florida IFAS Extension in Sarasota County says feeding an alligator is the biggest reason why an alligator can become a problem. She tells us the state of Florida has about 1 gator for every 20 people, and it is illegal to feed them.
We basically are living in their backyard, so we need to learn how to be smart, be alligator smart, and live with them.
It's a lesson Clements says residents on the Suncoast really need to learn. Out of 415 Florida cities that reported nuisance alligators in 2016, the Sarasota area came in second with 176 alligators removed. The Bradenton area finished 8th with 116 removals. Orlando tops the list.
We want to make sure we're not feeding alligators, we're not disposing of those fish scraps anywhere other than the garbage. We want to keep our pets and our children about 10 feet away from the water's edge in areas where there might be alligators.
Once an alligator is considered to be a nuisance, they are removed and then euthanized. For Efron and his neighbors, they've had experts come into their development to teach folks how to live with alligators. He says those educational lessons have made a huge difference. Efron tells us they haven't had any nuisance alligators in quite some time.
We do our best here to educate everyone in terms of the traits and habits of the alligator, so we minimize any types of conflict.
And if you feel you've come across a nuisance alligator, you're being asked to contact Florida Fish and Wildlife immediately. Reporting from Sarasota County, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
And it's not just a bad idea, it's also illegal to feed alligators.
With all the rain we've been getting over the past few days, Manatee County officials are lifting the burn ban. The ban had been in effect for about 6 weeks, but officials say the recent rainfall has relieved their worries about the county's wildfire situation. Sarasota County's burn ban is still in effect until further notice.
Good news for smokers now on the issue of smoking on the beach. The county commission is approving a change to the current smoking ban. After a judge found the ban on smoking hard to enforce, commissioners decided to remove smoking restrictions altogether. Any change to the smoking laws would have to come from the state and not from local governments.
As we prepare for hurricane season, Sarasota County is as well by testing their emergency system that could help you be better prepared. The Code Red system calls, texts, and even emails those who register for it when an emergency is reported throughout the county. It includes everything from boil water notices to tornado warnings.
By registering for the Code Red system, people will get those emergency messages. You know, they'll be able to get those emergency messages from Weather Warn that there's a tornado threat or something like that. Also, if the county puts out a notification that we're evacuating a certain area or something, they'll be included in that call. Otherwise, they may not get that information.
Currently, the Code Red emergency system works by automatically collecting landline numbers in particular areas, but county officials are asking for people to sign up using their cell phone numbers as well. Those who have already signed up will receive some test calls today. And remember, you can get up-to-the-minute updates on news and weather conditions across the Suncoast by downloading the ABC7 Weather and News app. Once you download those apps, you'll get updates on the forecast, breaking news, and local stories straight to your phone.
It is 6:36 right now. 2 suspected burglars facing charges for breaking into a home in North Sarasota. Police were called to the home on Windsor Drive after a homeowner found a man in his living room and then somebody else in his bedroom. When he called 911, the 2 thieves went out the window, and here they are. Police arrested these 2, Raekwon Bryant and Christopher Taylor. Bryant was found with some of the victim's jewelry, police say. They were charged with burglary to a dwelling and also resisting an officer.
The new Fort Hamer Bridge in Manatee County now has a specific date it'll be open. The bridge will connect Lakewood Ranch to Parrish. Crews have been working on that structure for about 2 years, but construction is now in the home stretch, and Manatee County officials set the anticipated opening date for August 26th. Once completed, the Fort Hamer will be more than 2,300 feet long with 19 piers in all.
Imagine running over the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. A move is underway for a half marathon over the bridge on New Year's Day morning. The group Henry Event Company is pushing for the Sunshine Skyway Half Marathon. It would also cause the shutdown of I-275 from the Pinellas Bayway all the way to Manatee County and US 19. Proceeds would go to help local nonprofits. Event organizers still need the approval from the Manatee County Commission before the event can become official. And you'll soon have a new place to rent kayaks and paddle boards in Sarasota County. Starting in 3 weeks, July 1st, rental companies will set up shop at Turtle Beach on South Siesta Key. The county said they decided to expand the program after the success on South Lido Beach.
Sarasota crew are preparing for the upcoming U.S. Rowing Youth Nationals, which will be held at Nathan Benderson Park. Both the boys and girls teams were out at the park fitting in their practice runs yesterday. Sarasota is the current state champion and a 6-time Southeast Regional champion. They'll be one of 154 clubs from around the country racing on the Suncoast this weekend.
We have a few boats that are right there knocking on the door for a medal, which is, we haven't had for a few years.
We've been training since August for this regatta. I was here last year. It was very exciting. I will say it is more exciting when it's somewhere else, but having it here in our hometown is pretty awesome too.
It's very exciting to be able to have a bit of an upper hand, I would say, and be able to practice here.
The U.S. Youth Rowing Nationals runs through this Friday until Sunday, and tickets are still available for that event.
And a follow-up on one of the largest fundraisers in the Suncoast. Last month's 12th annual Dick Vitale Gala raised a record-breaking $3.1 million for pediatric cancer research. Hundreds attended the sold-out event at the Ritz, $1,000 a plate. One of the honorees this year, Chris Berman, also gave $130,000 to the foundation. In total, the gala has raised more than $21 million to help defeat the leading cause of death by disease in American children. Also, by the way, I want to get more in touch with you here is our Facebook page. You can go to mysuncoast.com and also check that out and write to us, and we'll respond as well.
Yeah, we would love to chat with you guys, see some of the pictures that you guys get of you going out and about, out seeing some weather going on. I know we got some images from that spout over on Siesta Key.
Yeah, some of the best weather images we get from social
Sure.
media. They're really fantastic. I mean, you're our eyes on the ground there.
Definitely.
It's great.
Eyes and ears.
We have rain showers around again today. Some of it producing some fairly heavy rainfall, I think. We'll talk about that in a sec.
Also still ahead, good news for parrot heads. You can now get one step closer to Jimmy Buffett.
We'll tell you how he's bringing his hits to Broadway.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Finish Upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $249 per month or 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
The official salon of ABC7. Cutting Loose Salon.
Keep up with your investments and market trends by watching the ABC7 Stock Report. Get a recap of all the day's stock market activity. Be sure to watch your Suncoast News at 6 for the ABC7 Stock Report, sponsored by Sunset Cadillac.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Finish Upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Warm start to the morning. We do have a dew point temperature of 74 degrees, and consequently, that's kept the nighttime temperature warm. So we're at 80 degrees right now with a south wind blowing breezy at 14. That wind will be breezy throughout the afternoon. We'll probably have a sustained wind as we head into afternoon at about 20 miles per hour. So that'll be shifting a little more southwest as well, which is the reason we have a small craft advisory and we have a rip current, high danger of rip currents again today on our area beaches. So watch for that. A little bit of cloud cover out there right now. Not a whole lot in the way of rainfall currently, but I think as we head into the afternoon, that's going to change. We did have some overnight showers. We do have a cluster of storms out in Gulf waters. Now, a lot of this is kind of lifting off toward areas from, say, Pinellas County northward, but I'm sure we'll get tagged by a little bit of that rain showers, but hopefully after most of drive time has finished, I'd say basically after about 9 o'clock or so, we'll start to see better chances of rainfall. 10, 11, 12 o'clock, rain chances really start to go up markedly, and then by afternoon, we'll probably see some of those heavier rains around. Still have a chance that some of the showers that develop across the peninsula today could contain some gusty winds, and that's certainly a possibility. Most likely, though, I think that will be mostly for North Florida, and then the flooding rains areas down to the south Fort Myers. Have some scattered showers around the Northport area, Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, seeing some moderate rain falling there. Won't last very long and move on pretty quickly and head up towards areas around Arcadia. As far as our forecast goes, driven by a couple of things. One, a strong southerly wind flow just pumping moisture across the state. And then enhanced rainfall chances occurring because of little areas of low pressure rippling along a frontal boundary like cars on a railroad track. Now, as we head into probably Friday, we'll watch these little areas of low pressure kind of lift off to the north and to the east, and a high pressure ridge temporarily kind of try and bridge in, drawing down some slightly drier air. That'll lead to a reduced rainfall chance on Friday, and then as we head into Saturday and Sunday, we'll start to up the rain chances again with another little low pressure area rippling through the northeast. Possibility of rain again today is good, probably coming in at about an 80% chance in the afternoon. Breezy southwest wind, again creating a small craft advisory and a high danger of rip currents. And then we'll also watch for tides to be a little higher than average as well. So this little area of low pressure kind of moves across the state. As it finally does that, we'll see a frontal boundary kind of stall right across the center section of the state. High pressure bridging in, reducing our rain chances just a little bit. So for today, we'll look for good chances of rain, about an 80% chance. Then our chances reducing each day till Friday when we bottom it out at about 30%, and then rain chances going up again over the weekend. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, John. Let's take a look at Suncoast roadways this morning. Looks like State Road 70 as you head towards 301, seeing an increase in traffic. Lots of cars picking up throughout that area. There is an accident toward east of I-75 up in Manatee County towards New Paris Way in French Creek Court. As we head into Sarasota County, looks like there is also an accident over towards I-75 northbound lanes at exit 221, so keep an eye out for that if you usually take that route. Looks like some congestion on 41 as you head south into South County. Normal slowdowns throughout that area on your Wednesday morning. In today's Health Smart, prescription medicines can help us live longer and healthier lives.
But as Kim Hutcherson tells us, taking them incorrectly can be downright dangerous.
Before you start taking any new prescription medicine, there are a few things you should talk over with your doctor. Make sure you've told your physician about any allergies you have and any problems you've had previously with medication. Ask how many times a day the medicine should be taken and at what intervals. For example, the dosing information might say it should be taken 4 times a day. Find out whether that means 4 times in 24 hours as opposed to 4 times during the daylight. Ask whether the medicine should be taken with food and whether there are foods or beverages to avoid when taking it. Ask whether the medicine will interact negatively with other medications and make sure your doctor or pharmacist knows all the medicine you're taking. Ask what as needed means and find out when you should stop taking the medicine. Ask what you should do if you forget a dose. And finally, ask what side effects can be expected and what to do if there's a problem. Make note of the answers you get and write down any special instructions you're given. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
All right, entertainment news. Chuck Berry passed away earlier this year, but his last album is about to be released.
That's right. Berry announced plans for the album Chuck back in October on his 90th birthday. The music took on new meaning when he died back in March. It's a fitting finale from the man who melded blues, R&B, and country music into a sound that changed the cultural landscape. That album will actually be released this Friday.
And a musical based on Jimmy Buffett's music will make the move to Broadway early next year. Escape to Margaritaville has already toured in San Diego, New Orleans, and Chicago. It's about a bar musician who falls for a tourist, which sounds like about half of his songs. He has had an amazing niche. Parrot heads follow him around the country, and he's got a hotel in Hollywood, Florida, restaurants, and you said also he's got what else?
I think he has a retirement home. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure he has one opening up here in Florida, in Orlando, actually.
Done very well.
That is interesting. But that song, Margaritaville, always makes me want to lay out on a beach and relax, doesn't it?
It's such a neat mix. Some beautiful songs. Come Monday is one of my favorites, and He Went to Paris, a great song. 70-year-old singer from Mississippi. I did some research this morning.
Wow.
6:49 right now, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. We'll update the day's top news headlines, and we'll tell you about a Sarasota High School graduate making Major League history.
We'll tell you how this local talent set a new record last night.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
Get ready for the most hair-raising event of the summer. Feld Entertainment and the Ringling Museum present international circus superstar Bello Knott in Incredibello, a gravity-defying, laughter-inducing, super stunt performance live at the historic Oslo Theater. Don't miss out on the must-see event of the summer, Incredibello, playing June 13th through July 29th. For tickets, visit ringling.org today.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-622-1941. 800-622-1941.
Keep up with your investments and market trends by watching the ABC7 Stock Report. Get a recap of all the day's stock market activity. Be sure to watch your Suncoast News at 6 for the ABC7 Stock Report, sponsored by Sunset Cadillac. Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Well, that's all we can offer you today. No pastel sunrise to speak of at this point.
Pretty cloudy out there.
Yeah, there's a shot of Sarasota Bay looking over toward Longboat Key, and then in the foreground here, the 10th Street boat ramp and the Rosemary District.
Those clouds look like they're moving kind of fast if you can see them.
Yeah, a little bit. 6:53 on your Wednesday morning.
Let's take a look at some of the top stories we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
Sarasota police say these two broke into a home in North Sarasota and surprised the homeowner. They say the pair ran back out an open window as the victim called 911. They are charged with burglary to a dwelling and resisting an officer.
Sarasota County is testing their emergency system that could help you be better prepared. The Code Red system calls, texts, and even emails those who register for it when an emergency is reported in the county. Those who have already signed up will receive test calls later on today.
And a special session begins today in Tallahassee. Lawmakers may try to override the governor's budget vetoes on education and also hospital funding.
All right, taking a look at Suncoast traffic this morning. Looks like some congestion as you get off I-75 heading towards 301 on State Road 70. Also an accident on New Paris Way in French Creek Court. As we head into Sarasota County, it looks like University Parkway looking good. Lakewood Ranch, not seeing any accidents in that area. And as we head south into South County, 41 looking good on your morning commute. John?
So we'll look for a pretty cloudy day today. If you see any sunshine, consider that not a good omen, I guess you could say, because if we get a little sunshine, it'll just help to create some heavier rain showers during the afternoon. Rain shower chance good today at about 80%, mostly after the mid-morning into the early afternoon. Then over the next several days, we'll start to kind of lighten up on the rain chances till Friday, when we'll have the least amount of rain that we will have this week, which will be about a 30% chance. A lot more sunshine, I think, on Friday. Over the weekend, we'll have a mix of sun and clouds with those afternoon thunderstorms.
All right, thanks, John. Finally today, Sarasota High School alum and Cincinnati Reds player Scooter Gennett becoming part of history in the NLB last night as the Reds faced the Cardinals. He's the first Reds player to ever hit 4 home runs in a single game. Crazy, right? And the 15th player in the league to do so in modern era. He helped the Reds win 13-1. Congrats for him.
One of the best performances ever. ESPN says 4 home runs and 10 RBIs.
Wow.
Sarasota High School graduate. I just checked him out on Google. His hobby, you'll like this, being a Renaissance man, pottery.
Really?
There you go.
How about that?
Who would have thought? Not video games.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
All right. Stay dry today. It's going to be a wet one, John tells us.
Yeah,
Yes, it will be. Watch for that. Ponding on roadways possible, too, so be careful out there on the streets.
All right, stick around. Good Morning America is coming up next.